We got a great story coming up today for you guys to update you on the monkeypox, on what's happening at the World Economic Forum, and how your future's in the hands of people that you probably don't like. And guess what? They weren't elected. That's how you know you're not going to like them. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have probably had a crazy week like we have. It's kind of hard to pay attention to everything that goes on, right, Tina? When you say, I'm looking at you again in here.
No.
So I get used to it.
Yes, it's definitely been a roller coaster yet again. It's like you come down off the real high and we're like, okay, it's over. We did the loops. And it's like, oh no, here comes another one to go up and get that momentum going again. That's what I'm feeling with this monkeypox and all this WEF stuff.
Yeah, you know, I get frustrated when I see it because I don't think that everybody gets it as far as how big of a deal it is. I'm talking to a couple people on the left, some buddies of mine, used to be buddies. I think they called me a Nazi a couple times in the past couple years. So I told them, like, if you say things like that to me, we're not friends, just so we're clear. Like, you don't get to think that I'm an actual evil. You don't actually get to think I'm an actual evil human being and still dialogue with me.
I gotta know what conversation that I felt that was appropriate, but I feel like
it's in every conversation,
right?
It's in every conversation when they're like, I guess you probably support Russia too, and I'm like, I don't support Russia and I don't support Ukraine. I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on over there because they've lied to us about everything, and I just don't know enough.
Who is she?
Who is Monkeypox? Well, she's ugly. Why don't you show that picture that they want us to see of Monkeypox? So this is, if you zoom into that left one, this is what they want you to know about. What they want you to know about Monkeypox. Okay. It's from the U.S. First time in nearly 20 years. All you need to know about it, right? I'm honestly, if I saw that in somebody's hand, I would be like, "Doc, like you're a leper. You're a leper, right?" Which is kind of the goal, right? But what is it? What is it actually?
Now, if we zoom out and look at where this picture actually came from, would you look at that? It's a picture of shingles outbreak. And it looks really gnarly. I mean, if you look at it, that looks real gnarly. But they used the same thing, the same picture for the article. Why did they have to use a picture in the first place of any kind of condition? They could have used a picture of a monkey. A lot of people have been doing anything. But they had to make it look like you're a pariah if you contract this, because they got to play on fear. So anyway, that's the first thing we got to know about this. And the thing is too is you have to remember, all these people are driven by fear. The media has been caught lots of times with Project Veritas, where Project Veritas went undercover and basically revealed that the people that were leading CNN were saying if it bleeds, it leads. You know, and they knew that a lot of the stuff, the Russia collusion narratives and all that stuff was not true. And so if you know something's not true, if you're clear on it 100% and you still push it, you're guilty of lying, you know, and a lot of times because it's like an old biblical reference, thou shalt not lie, you kind of don't realize the damage you can do in a society with lying. But like, we're seeing it now. It's a pretty big cost, right? You know, for these lies that perpetuate. What else are they saying about it? We got another one. Speaking of it bleeds, it leads. That's so funny that you said that, because we got a couple of pictures here. This original picture is from November 26, 2018. And it's, I guess, an old monkeypox case. But look, they used the same thing just recently. Same picture. See the ring, the diamond ring and everything?
Right.
Same picture.
Yeah, I got it. Of course I see it. You see the thing, Ross? Yeah.
Sorry.
I can tell. You're like, look, the words are even the same.
Look, really look at it. And remember.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
That guy's hilarious.
This happened during COVID. Sound familiar? This type of replacing pictures?
Yeah, you guys got to see this. Remember what they did in COVID? I think it was CBS, wasn't it?
Yep, CBS.
Yeah, here. Remember this video, guys, of the ER in the US? This footage was shot today in Italy, right? That's actually where it's from, but New York City acted like it was from there with these people with the big cones. Can you zoom into that?
This one?
Yeah, look at those big, like the big cones that they had on their heads. It's like, oh my God, everybody's dying for sure. Everybody's dying for sure. That's what they wanted you guys to think. And then what happened? Zoom into that right there. I want to read that. CBS has what? Has admitted that the alarming footage of overflowing ward used to report on the coronavirus crisis in Big Apple hospitals was actually shot in Italy. Not even the same city, not even the same state, not even the same country. But yeah, they wanted you freaked out about it. So monkeypox. Well, they're already issuing certain components as far as lockdowns are concerned or quarantine measures, which, let's be honest, I don't trust these guys. The people that are deciding what kind of treatment happens or even when something qualifies as a disease is just a little bit alarming. Not a little bit alarming. It's super alarming. Like, I just don't want people deciding when you're dangerous and when you're not by their own standards and then having the ability to enforce something if I didn't elect them. And everybody in the World Economic Forum is unelected. But what? Show me the thing.
Well, we've got this one here. It's funny that you said that. The Epoch Times. Oh, there we go. Monkeypox games could lay ground for WHO pandemic response takeover. Those unelected officials that we were talking about. The World Health Organization is responding to a string of monkeypox outbreaks and will be convening an emergency meeting on the virus and its global spread. In terms of government power, the timing of this outbreak couldn't be better for the WHO, which may soon be granted powers to manage laws on global health outbreaks and which oddly well positioned for a monkeypox outbreak following a recent germ games call and recent incidents tied to figures who include Microsoft billionaire Bill Gates.
Yeah, so I was thinking they might slow roll it, to be like, well, we're just now talking about how, like, the world's just now talking about how dangerous the World Health Organization and signing this treaty is because it gives 194 countries the control. It gives the World Health Organization control over 194 countries' response patterns, what they're like, the medicine they can use, what qualifies as a pandemic, and they basically are in control of 194 countries for your safety. They get to control everything about your country basically during a pandemic, which I don't know about you. If there was a giant ass button on my desk and I was trying to get control of everybody for the last 100 years and I could just press this button and then all of a sudden I had control, do you think it would take me 8 minutes or do you think it would take me 19 minutes before I pushed the button when I didn't get my way some way I wanted to? So, I mean, this is just a joke. Obviously, everybody knows what's really happening here.
Well, and look how they're framing it too. Like the New York Post declared the World Health Organization is reportedly convening an emergency meeting into the alarming spread of monkeypox. You see how they're starting to use those like buzzwords and everything we'll be bringing together a group of leading experts in the meeting, which is believed to be focused on how the virus is suddenly spreading so widely. It also allegedly will look into the virus's prevalence among homosexual men and on the vaccination situation. I mean, I don't
know what to say about the homosexual men part because it does seem to be true, right? That's the only way it's spreading right now? Do you want to see
where they say it's, they're saying that it's prevalent in homosexual men. There's a
because we'll go find it. Well, so because if what I'm thinking with this is if you're gay and like, I mean, they are like this where like the media, they know what's happening. So I wouldn't put it past them that they would attempt to basically say, here's a reason for conservatives to hate the other side. You know how like they did with the unvaccinated, right? For the Democrats, basically the unvaccinated were the pariah, so they can make us hate each other. I feel like they would do the same thing with, gay men are the ones who are primary contracting this through, doing these sexual acts or whatever, which is I think what they're saying, isn't it?
Yes, that's what they're saying. Actually, let me
it just makes me think that they're trying to. No, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know anything about this, but what I do know is that sounds like something they would say to try and get us to say really homophobic stuff so that their tight grasp on the gay like people in America, the Democrats, that they would be able to say, man, I better maintain my position on the left wall because if not, I'm like the right wants to eat me. They hate me. Well, which is just not true. We don't even care. Be as gay as you want. Be as gay as you want. Just don't tell my kids that it's better than the other thing.
Right. Or any kind of sexual education of any kind below certain ages.
Yeah, I would even say below certain ages. Like I'm almost to the point now where I think we need to scrap public like the government giving your kids advice. Well, no, that's not true because some parents are so terrible that they really just give atrocious advice. But there's a fine line that's got to be walked there. Right. The government needs to take like 8 steps back.
Yes, they've gone like way 8 steps back. Way too far. No, I think they would totally try to. The conservatives who finally came to warming up to the idea of homosexuality in the LGBT community, those people who were staunchly against it, they were finally warming up to okay, they're accepting it. That's happened a lot where Nana finally accepted accepted, a gay grandson that she hadn't for many decades. And now those people, this kind of stuff, we feel like, and the stuff they're doing in the schools, it's making us or the people like that say, well, why did I warm up to them? That's why I feel
it was a slippery slope. They were right the whole time. Gay did lead to this, and then they did want this, and then they did try to marry animals, and that's real. And now they're pretending that they're animals,
right?
And it's just like, what is happening? Now, I'm not saying that I think that. I have friends that are gay that I know are not interested in anything else besides the fact that they happen to like the other gender,
right?
Which is totally fine. But they're not saying that gender doesn't exist. That's a whole nother animal of trying to explain things away. Now, so there's going to be conservatives, and I think they're trying to hasten that. But go ahead, what were you saying?
No, it's funny. Like, why did you have to? They keep emphasizing that it's connected to the homosexual community. The monkeypox outbreak is linked to a super spreader event and an adult sauna. This was in Spain, Madrid. Right here. Monkeypox cases in Spain have been linked to a super spreader event at an adult sauna in Madrid. The region's cabinet minister for community health, Enrique Ruiz, I'm not going to try to say that, said yesterday that the health
Wait, aren't you Spanish?
I didn't want to mess it up.
¿Qué es el problema con tu boca, amiga?
The TH. That the health officials had traced many of the Spain's 30 monkeypox cases to a single sauna in the capital. Now, that could have just stopped there, right? A link was first drawn between gay men and the monkeypox in the UK earlier in the week. Why? You could have just said, hey, there were a bunch of people.
UK Health Security Agency urging men who have sex with men to be alert to any new rashes or lesions on their body.
Isn't
Golly, I don't know. I mean, if I was a gay man and I saw that, I'd be like, oh my God, it could be me.
Well, I mean, I don't know. And then some people were like, I heard an Instagram live the other day, and he said, that sounds like herpes. So I don't understand. I'm lost. Because the typical transmission.
But what though? But so what? What are the symptoms of monkeypox? You get sick or something like that? I mean,
well,
what you need to know.
Let's take a look.
Let's see what they used to say about it, guys.
Right.
You need to see the transition from what they used to say about monkeypox to what they say about monkeypox now. Because wouldn't you know it, the science has changed. Wouldn't you know it? The science has changed.
So we got some screenshots here. A couple people have pointed this out. This is the NHS website, which is basically...
Can you zoom into that a little more?
Zoom in more? Sure. This is from November 2021. The NHS, that's a UK health, their health government entity. They deleted this part of what is monkeypox. Let's first read
I'll
the top.
read it. Let's see. It's usually a mild illness that will get better on its own without treatment. Some people can develop more serious symptoms, so patients with monkeypox in the UK are cared for in special hospitals. Okay?
Okay, so they deleted that.
So it's usually, what did it say? It's usually uncommon?
Yes, I have
a
that
mild
one right
illness.
there.
Okay. Got it. And what's the one on the right say?
This is from May 19th, 2022.
So this is the updated version.
This is more updated. You notice they have added a lot more stuff. And
let's see.
They've even updated
it even
this.
said it's very uncommon to get monkeypox from a person with infection because it does not spread easily between people, but it can be spread through... Let's see, touching clothing, bedding, towels by somebody with a monkeypox rash, touching monkeypox skin blisters or scabs, the coughs or sneezes of a person with a monkeypox rash. Okay, so far, you have to have physical symptoms for it to matter. I wonder when they're going to say, no, a cough or a sneeze is bad no matter what, and then it's going to go there. So anyway, I want you guys to see what they took out next, though.
Right.
You got to see it. So at first it was, uncommon. Very rare. If you do get it, it's such a small deal that let's see what it says. Did you get it?
So this is see how we're going to compare it. Remember this right here? It's very uncommon. It's very
uncommon, but if you were going to get it, here's what it would be like.
Now look.
Or here's how it's spread. And now it doesn't say it's very uncommon.
The
new one says monkeypox can also be spread through blah, blah, blah. So they don't want to say it's uncommon anymore.
Or it's not. It's very uncommon to get monkeypox from a person with the infection. Now, that is completely gone.
Right.
As they've started drumming up.
I wonder if they've drummed up more, or if they're starting to just see more, and they said that.
I don't know. I think they started seeing.
I'm at the position now where I'm already thinking not only did these people like just start telling us about this, like I bet it was in one of the boosters, you know, like they're like, oh, got them, you know, they're like, this stuff's wearing out a little too fast. We got that World Economic Forum coming up soon.
We need to fund that Joker. We need to get our payments going, make sure everybody knows. And then what if they immediately called an emergency and immediately tried to take control of everything that they just signed the amendments for in the treaty? Because guys, they're not going slow with this stuff. They've realized that look at everything that would happen, that every one of you would say was unconstitutional during the COVID outbreaks. They're not allowed to tell me what I can and can't do based on my religious beliefs about abortion baby cells being inside of the DNA of the actual vaccine, which is true, right? Mm-hmm. And you tried to say religiously, like, that's not okay. According to the Constitution, they're like, no, they did it first. Our lockdown's good for you, and we're masks good for you. So I suppose we can start there. I can click through these. Okay. It's funny that I have a clip of news agencies who are obviously shills for the liberal policies trying to debunk the study from Johns Hopkins that said that it did more damage than good, which people like us, we saw that.
Right. Well, so if you guys want to see, I mean, it's Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins was involved with a lot of the reasons that we did lockdowns. A lot of the studies that they were doing and stuff came from Johns Hopkins. So you can't say this is some right-wing source. Johns Hopkins themselves are the ones who put this study out. So
how many lives, Ross, have been destroyed, are still destroyed right now from this BS that started, over now 2 years ago? How many lives? Like, people are still, they're not the same. They're picking up the pieces. They've developed all these mental issues because of this for 0.2%.
Right, for 0.2%. Now, like, what other issues? Well, so Yelp data put this out forever ago, but 60% of the business closures that they had due to coronavirus are now permanent. So they didn't get enough funding from the government to stay afloat. They closed their doors permanently. Well, that's not free. What else happened?
What about the 48 million? What about the 48 million that they had? They had 40 million for Ukraine, but they struck
40
down
billion.
40 billion, excuse me, 48 billion for a COVID post-COVID rescue package for Americans. The Senate they shot it down, but they had 40 billion for Ukraine. And we already gave them money.
Look at this, y'all. I'll just do it over here. You can just see it. You've got the depression 3 times higher during lockdowns. That's not free. Going through depressing times is not free. So you've got depression.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's not. It's not without cost.
That's a great way of putting it.
It's not without cost. You cost your future. It costs your confidence over the next 12 years, potentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows how deep of a wound? Well, how deep of a wound do you guys think it was? When they did the research on this and I was reading about it, the COVID-19 is a large-scale traumatic event. That's what they categorized it as. It has caused physical, emotional, and psychological distress, and not just for patients of the virus. It did worse. So you can look into what they basically said was, if you were to measure, when you read into this, if you were to measure the amount of damage that COVID did to people, it was as if they had a major traumatic event occur to them. That's what it says when you read this whole thing. That's what it says. So hang on, I want to show you more. 4 in 10 U.S. adults. I want you guys to see this. 4 in 10 delayed or avoided urgent or emergency care was more common. Now, here's what this means. People with cancer treatments. The rest of this article, if you look down below it, is about people that had cancer treatments that literally said, I'm not going to do the cancer treatments because I'm so afraid and there's so much other chaos that's going on with COVID. If you know anybody that thinks that it is more dangerous for them to have gotten COVID than to keep their cancer where it was, they were bamboozled. That's the only way around. That's the only way to think that is true. Do you guys remember when they were putting people? There was this video, man. I wish I could find it. Why don't you look it up for me?
What do you mean?
It's a woman is stopped from hugging her husband or for hugging her son during a funeral.
Oh no! Okay.
Yes, woman prevented from hugging husband during funeral.
Okay.
or hugging child during funeral of her husband. Her husband died. The funeral director comes out and tells them to get away from each other in the midst of a freaking pandemic after the spouse died. Do you know how unforgivable a thing it is to not let the right amount of people come to a funeral? You think you have the right to stop people from going to their own funerals? So no wonder. I'm going to show you guys some more damage while she's finding that. Mm-hmm. How about the IQs? What's this? Children born during the pandemic have a lower IQ. Oh, how much lower? Well, let's look at it. I want you guys to see the numbers that they put here. In the decade preceding the pandemic, the mean IQ score, which is like the average, on standardized tests for children aged between 3 months and 3 years of age hovered around 100. But for children born during the pandemic, that number's tumbled to 78. 22 points? We're 22% basically stupider. Our kids are 20% dumber because of what happened with this? What? And you think it's free? The businesses are shutting down. Depression's high. 4 out of 10 adults were delayed or didn't go get emergency care for their other actual needs that probably had a significantly higher problem than COVID did. And our kids are 22% dumber, give or take a little bit. Bro, you're literally putting kids into positions where they're not going to be able to recover at all mentally. Like, you don't get 20 IQ points smarter because you decide to study in summer school next time. You can't make up the difference that they just lost from age 0 to 3. 20 points, you can't make it up in summer school, dog. You're not just going to get smarter. You know, like, there's so much. Anyway, it's because you learn so much at that early age.
I found it.
Okay, so let's show this real quick. Yeah, share that on the thing, and then I'll bring it up on here.
Okay.
Independent celebrant. It's my privilege to have been asked to conduct our service today to celebrate the life of Alan Wright. I therefore offer you all a very warm welcome as we unite in love and friendship
Yeah, it looks like your mom's having a tough time there. Why don't you just get the hell away from her? Why? Because the dictator said so. That's why. Are you guys seeing how evil this is, man? It's not neutral. This is not neutral. But this stuff's not neutral. It took a toll on people.
That
you can't tell me.
Awful.
And then a week. Guess what happens a week later? I bet you. Would they have 20 people at that thing? You know, there was 5 rows.
Yeah,
of 4
it wasn't.
chairs,
It didn't even look like 20
people. And I bet you, if they would have flipped to the other channel, they would have seen George Floyd's golden casket.
All those people,
right, with all the politicians that aren't even related to him in the middle of New York City or wherever the flip.
How many did he have? He had like 4.
Hundreds.
Didn't he have 4 funerals too? He had different funerals in different cities.
Hundreds upon hundreds of people. Mm-hmm. And you mean to tell me that we're supposed to take you guys seriously? Like, this is a joke, man. Like, they did so much damage. Let me look.
Well,
I
like you said,
things over here
like
too.
you said with health, there was a video, not just people who didn't want to go because they were afraid. People who said, "Did you get the shot?" Oh no, well, you can't come in. There was a lady that did an Instagram video and she was denied her first assessment appointment because she didn't have any of the COVID vaccines. And she's like, I can't, like, I literally need a new heart. And this is not a older person who's lived their life. This lady looked like she was in her late 20s, early 30s, and she can't go in and start qualifying for a new heart because she didn't get this experimental vaccine.
Because she wouldn't allow it, right? Mm-hmm. Even though it does damage to the heart.
Yeah, it's like,
what are you guys thinking? Like, it's not that you're thinking, it's who the hell are you taking the orders from that would say policy over life? Look how good lockdowns are, guys. This is Shanghai, which is what everybody in the World Health Organization usually praises for their absolute COVID powerful policies that help to prevent spread. This is them making their own ladder to get out of the damn apartment because they're not allowed out. Like, isn't this nuts? Like, what planet is this where anybody thought this was a good idea? So anyway.
Okay.
Millions of lives. And both of our experts say, if you want evidence that lockdowns work, just look at China. It now has the lowest COVID death rate of any large nation. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
Meta-analysis have been wrong before. A study that looked into the horse dewormer ivermectin as a possible COVID treatment was later retracted after researchers learned that some of the data was faked.
Wow. Who's been saying... Oh, sorry. who's been saying that these media companies are shills for the liberal agenda? That as soon as that Johns Hopkins University study started catching up, and getting really popular and going viral, these media companies started publishing stuff like that. And this was back in February. Right. But the audacity for them to say, if you want an example of a good lockdown or people who did it right, look to China.
Right, like that's what they think.
And then you just showed that.
And they think that it's like the better option. Okay, so what you're saying is we should be more like that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No way in hell. I've got the pictures of the women and the men jumping out of their buildings to try and avoid it. And y'all stuff doesn't work. Here, let me pull this thing up. Y'all stuff doesn't even work. Look at this. I want you guys to see what they've done with their hang on, I got a whole flow chart for you. So this is even just in the realm of masks. Even if we just talk about masks, this is already funny. Look, camera's off. Homeboy's just enjoying himself. Not a thought in the world about how he should look. But okay, it doesn't matter. I just want to get to the graphs. Look, requires mask on the downtrend, and then it still blows up later. Requires mask downtrend, still blows up. Requires mask, then it seems to go up. Requires mask, it gets though. Look, required masks.
Look at that.
Yeah, like if you
off the charts, literally.
Yeah, hang on, I'm gonna zoom in. But if you look at it, it's not like those are days apart or anything like that. They had time for it to like be like Italy. I mean, look, all right, I don't know what to say. Here's the best chart though, out of all of them. Okay. This is the best chart out of all of them. If you're wondering if the mask worked or not, the red is no mask required and the black is mask required. And this is all of the European Union, basically. This is every one of the countries, right? Sweden, Norway, Denmark, all down there. And then the rest of the ones that did require it, Belgium, Czech, France, Spain, UK, Austria, Italy, Portugal, Ireland, Germany, and their spikes are everywhere. So I don't know about you. Not being able to see people's faces has to have a psychological effect on human beings. If you think about, 90% of communication's nonverbal. So that means every time you're dialoguing with somebody, you can look this up, approximately 90% for the people who want to try to correct me out there. Approximately 90% of the communication that you have with other humans is nonverbal, which means they're looking for body language, they're looking for tone, they're looking for eye contact, they're looking for leaning, they're looking for how aggressive you said what you said. And so they're paying attention to your mannerisms. And where do the mannerisms mostly present themselves? In your face. Have you noticed how hard it is to see what somebody's mood is when you can't see their mouth from the last 2 or 3 years? You don't think that has a psychological effect on human beings over a long period of time, not being able to connect with other people that make them feel like they're a part of a thing? We're a herd animal, dude. No matter how much you want to get away from the biology of this whole thing, which they love to run away from the biology now. But,
I know.
But you can't tell me that a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old that's trying to learn communication skills and how to be assertive and how to have clear communication and have expectations met and trying to get them to cover their face. And the fact that these airplanes would kick families off if their 2-year-olds or 1.5-year-olds or whatever the stupid number was weren't covering their face is absolutely insane.
And they were so mean to some of these mothers. One of the mothers was literally, she's like, I'm holding her down. I'm holding it on her face.
Please don't kick us off. I'll do it. I'm holding her. I'm smothering her right now. Is that better?
That's what she was doing. That's what she was doing. And then the mean flight attendant still came and said, we have a non-compliant customer on board. We're going to have to turn around. And that's what they did. Yeah. And it was a 2-year-old having an asthma attack too. That particular one that I'm talking about, she was having an asthma attack. The lady literally had her little toot, like they have a special mask. It's a special mask where you do the and they can breathe it in on this mask thingy. So she had it. She wasn't BSing. No, she was trying to give her the treatment and everything.
Didn't care. And that's not the rules. That's not our new rules. You have to submit. I don't care who you are. And it's just like,
and then to put it over the thing, to tell the whole plane.
Yeah, we have to stop because this dumb lady in the back, like you're trying to get everybody mad at her too. Yeah, like this, honestly, Elon said it best, I think, and Joe Rogan said it best when it's like these people they've been given an authority to be an a-hole and they're basically just using it for that now.
I agree 100%.
So long story short, everybody, the moral of the story is, the last time these jokers in charge told us to do a bunch of crap because they were afraid of something, they were wrong about everything. We have videos of Bill Gates saying, we didn't know that it was only going to be as bad as like a minor flu, which he's saying now. Really? We all said that from the beginning. So if monkeypox gets out of hand and they get all crazy, my best advice is, well, I'm not a doctor, so don't take my advice, but something I heard somewhere that I don't know that you should listen to or not is maybe don't give a shit about what they say. But it's certainly not me telling you that.
You have such a good, like, fake laugh. Like, you could do it so well. You're a better actor than Amber Heard.
I'm a better actor than Amber Heard. That's true. She's terrible, man.
Oh my gosh.
She turns it on and turns it off, but the cameras
weird.
are always on you. So it's like you can't do that with the...
Did you see when she stopped?
Yeah. And then tries to put it right back on.
She stopped blowing her nose because she saw the paparazzi. She was going like this. She went and then saw them, paused, and then continued. I don't. This chick is crazy, and you're right. She has like a like that on off. Oh gosh,
on and off button. She does.
It's very strange. Very strange. Anyway, sorry, went down.
Well, so guys, I want to talk about our first sponsor of the show. Something that happens in your life as you tarry on and you're battling countless battles at work and at home and on the internet and at the grocery store and at the gas station and apparently on the border and in Ukraine. With all these battles that the government inflicts upon us, you get a little bit tired. And when you're tired, you find yourself in need of a good nap. But like many of you know, a nap's only as valuable as the sleep that you get during the nap. Well, unfortunately for many of us, our pillows prevent some of that sleep, don't they, Tina?
They sure do.
And we want to help you swan dive right in. So, guys, check it out. I want to let you know right off the bat, we've got a super sale. That's right, 66% off on My Pillow. They got pillows, they got bed sheets, they got slippers, they got towels, and it's 66% off if you use. And plus, I think there's another discount you get if you use my promo code. But anyway,
oh nice,
it's so awesome. Even my kids love the boxes. Da 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 da. So I had to make the first ad that I ever did super duper cheesy. But I want to thank My Pillow for being the sponsor to this thing. Even though they didn't approve that ad or anything, so don't get it twisted. I literally made that myself and just decided to make it funny.
They're actually really good though. They're actually really good. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm
the
very
slippers
picky.
are fire.
I didn't even know that until you told me that. I was literally like, oh yeah, My Pillow. We finally got one like only last year, and I was like,
which one did you get? The super firm?
No. I like it kind of low and flat like that. That's how I like it. But my husband did, so he got the puffier ones, and we bought like 4 of them. But then he tells me, oh yeah, and the slippers too. I'm like, the what? I'm sorry. And then he's telling me about
and the slippers are better than the pillows. I love the pillows.
So
but
now
the slippers are even more exciting. And they're not even called. They're not My Pillow slippers. Nah, they got their own name. They're called My Slippers.
Nice.
It's like a notch up in the game. So they got that. They got towels. And they got
towels.
Sheets,
that's what you were talking about. Yeah, see, I didn't even know that. Now I need to use that promo code. What was that promo code again?
Boss. Let me show it one more time, everybody. Promo code BOSS, BOSS at checkout, and you will get my discount. And bada bing, bada boom. Even my kids loved the boxes. Mike, appreciate you guys over there.
It's awesome. No, it's true. I really am interested now because I finally got the
I don't
pillows.
even like slippers. I'm hot. Look at me. I'm big. Big guys are always hot. I'm hot. But I wear those slippers now. My wife got a pair. She loves them. So anyway, go get you or your wife some cool stuff.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself on some My Pillows. And thanks for hanging out for so long. So the second thing we're going to talk about tonight, and then we're going to be done, is going to be the World Economic Forum. I don't even know where to begin.
Right, because I think we should begin with what is the World Economic Forum doing and what are we talking about? Because I feel like the media's been suppressing it. We've only been getting it from independent sources, which most of, our viewers kind of, have time to peek in a little bit. It's been shrouded in secrecy, right, in my opinion. So it's World Economic Forum. They're having the meeting of the nations. What would you call it?
Yeah, I guess meeting like the people. It's almost like a third party person was going door to door to all the different nations and was like, "Hey, you're the president here? Hey, I'd like to meet you. Hey, we'd love to have you at the next World Leadership Summit. How does that sound?" And then they go, "Yeah, sure. I got here from the people voted for me and everything, but yeah, I'd love to come. Sure. When is it? Oh, it's the da-da-da-da-da. We'd love to have you there. Okay, great. I'll show up." Then they show up. And then they start going through all the different stuff that they want to do that has nothing to do with anything that the people elected this person to do. Mm-hmm. So they're there on this mission that's independent from what they were elected to do. And they're making plans without the people that elected them approving of the plans. Like yesterday, on Sunday, the 22nd, they were attempting to sign. They probably did sign. Did they sign it?
I don't know.
Me neither.
Everything is shrouded in secrecy. I swear. They even have their own police force who detained Jack Posobiec?
Yes,
Jack Posobiec?
but which is a reporter that I follow a lot. But basically what they do is they make ambitions and global goals for what all the nations need to do in order to cooperate with some new version of morality, which is not approved. It wasn't ever. It's not like everybody sat around in a room together and was like, "What's the best version of morality that our world leaders need to have when they go recruiting all the other world leaders and nation leaders to their cause?" There's none of that. These people just showed up and happen to have a ton of money. Bill Gates is real involved. Klaus Schwab, all these jokers, the Council on Foreign Relations, that's like Clinton people. Anyway, all the corrupt big boys are all in the same bucket together, and they're basically deciding what's happening to the rest of the world without your knowledge, without your vote, without your input.
Or what will happen.
Yeah,
if something happens in your country,
right? They're determining what's going to happen and how your country will respond. So that's what we're talking about.
Vote for them.
And we're almost done here, guys. We're going to go through a little bit of this, but I didn't want you to think we're going to last forever.
Should we play the clip of what one of them said during the world? This is what part of the meeting here.
We have increasing polarization everywhere, and everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online. You know, from freedom of speech to the freedom to, to be free from online violence, or the right of data protection to the right to child dignity. We are finding ourselves in a place.
Both of those things that she just said, which is what? What was the two things she said? She said
we need to
calibrate human rights.
Recalibrate like
human
freedom
rights.
of speech and your privacy to data.
Right.
And
they said both of them, and what were they for? Your protection.
Your protection.
It's better for you that we can make sure that no pictures on your devices are of naked little children. So we want access.
Do you see how they did that?
You all have to be giving us access to the cloud. We will see every single one of your pictures. We'll know everything about you. You'll have no privacy. And we're going to make sure that you're not allowed to have freedom of speech because we want to protect you from
the children.
Violence.
Did you notice how she did that? She threw the children in there.
Right, the children.
Oh, the children
to protect children from violence.
Yeah.
Dude, my kid can take one on the chin. We're okay. I'd rather my kid get punched in the face than ever have to live in the bubble world you're going to create where you're the biggest oppressor, where you're the biggest person that hurts them.
I don't even know who that lady is. I don't even know who it is, and she's talking about recalibrating. I really, you gotta love this word gymnastic and the word they try to soften the blow, and I'm like, what is recalibrating my freedom to speech? What does that mean, homie? I don't understand.
Yeah, and what moral compass do you have that's superior than the people that founded this country? And the one that we've been using for the last 200 years, which the reason everybody comes to this country is because we provide an arena where a lesser form of human suffering exists than whatever these people are coming from. So clearly it ain't that bad since it got to the top of the food chain and everybody still wants to move here, even with all the crap that they're doing now. So I hate these people. I hate these people's ideas that think that they have the moral, that they've got they've cornered the market on the best version of morality and you need to participate with it. Are you kidding me? When did you earn the gauntlet or the beacon of the most moral version of like life systems? Like giving the government control of everything so that we can lessen suffering sounds like a stupid idea no matter how you spin it, since the government's murdered more people than any other force combined.
Exactly. And here's another one. The Pfizer CEO, Albert Bourla, tells the WEF crowd about the new microchip pills. Imagine the compliance.
Chip that it is in the tablet, and once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliance. The insurance companies to know that the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is...
But the compliance. Imagine the compliance if we had a notification on us, the overlord's phone, that said, yes, subject 1372 took their pill. They will be, right? They'll be 13% more.
We'll have little barcodes.
Yeah, they'll
Sounds
have little
familiar,
barcodes.
Right?
Yeah. But they'll probably say something like, "Oh, he's going to be 13% more compliant at his next psychological evaluation than usual."
Right.
Or we can try to maneuver his mindset about this one category. Don't worry, we'll have the Ministry of Truth czar there as well to help make sure.
Or they'll start tailoring his social media feed. Tailoring his social media feed to get him warmed up. Looks like he wasn't warming up to that new monkeypox.
Yeah, we showed him 6 pictures of gay men touching each other's Johnsons, and he repulsed a little bit. We could tell by the way his eye twitched because we actually can hack into his phone whenever we want. No privacy. It's for your safety. We were able to tell that he was repulsed by it, and we know that that's a masculine trait to be repulsed by same-sex attraction. So we don't need any more masculine males deciding to rise up in any kind of way. So the best thing we can do is just go ahead and do a voluntary submission to him. He's going to need 7 hours of gay porn.
I was about to say
he's going to have to
go to some sort of center where they you know what, it looks like you're not liking this. You're just going to go to this camp. Yours is just a minor pink slip here. So you only have to do 2 weeks at the camp. Okay. We got some guys here for 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't need that much, but let's see.
But look, you heard that, the way he said that? Imagine the applications. Remember, imagine the compliance. And then the way you see how he shrouds it in, to make sure our patients take their medications. That's why we do it. It's like, don't worry, homie. If they want to live, they'll take it. If they don't want to live, don't worry about it. You have a body to study if you don't have somebody that's going to take something that saved their life. Offer it and the market will come to you. The people will come to you for your product if it works. You can't force this on people.
Yeah, no, you can't.
And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing with this. Like, why are we even putting that technology? A microchip itself, first of all, we already have shortages on stuff to make microchips, right? Why are we worried about a microchip that can dissolve? The amount of technology that has to go into that. Like, he's talking about a microchip that's going to be in a pill that when it dissolves, it'll send some signal. So that's got to be like dissolvable microchips with stomach acid?
Well, so here's what I wanted to show you guys, okay? So you know the level of what we're talking about is not outlandish. Everything we just said, I was being funny, but you need to know how much technology is behind the scenes. Do you remember when the guy from the World Economic Forum said, human beings, the free will is a myth. Human beings are hackable.
Oh, yes.
Human beings are hackable.
Sorry for the accents. This is actually how they're talking.
You are capable of so much more than you imagine. The dreams of dictators is able to be realized currently. And he's basically just saying that, like, human beings are hackable. Well, how is that possible? How can we get people to do what we want them to do? I'm going to show you guys this. Do y'all remember the Hollywood sex cult is what they called it? It was really sex trafficking called Nixum. Right? It was or Nifsum, whatever you want to call it. It was Keith Raniere, the chick from Smallville. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Tina? The chick from Smallville, Lana and Chloe, who was the reporter, was the one, Allison Mackey or something is her name, Allison Mack. Mm-hmm. She was cooperating with this guy, and they were branding their initials on women's genitalia. That's what they were doing. They were branding their names into their hip bones, into their backs, all kinds of stuff, people that would join this sex cult, right? Well, how in the world did they do it? Well, let me show you that Keith Raniere has on how to get. I'll show you what the name. That it's a weird name, but I want to show you the actual patent that's on here. What is this that Keith Raniere? By the way, Keith Raniere, a billionaire, not a normal guy, a billionaire. Keith Raniere. What kind of patent did he have? Well, this is how to. The determination of whether a Luciferian can be rehabilitated. But I want you to look at the images here. When they talk about the human being hackable, let me see if I can get down to where the image.
There it is.
Here's the images.
It's audio stimulus,
visual stimulus, instrument. I can't move over to the right anymore for some reason.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, not a lot of people have, but I remember looking at this years ago and going, "Oh my God, it is this output." They do something to your fingers to make you do it, but hang on, that's not even the worst part of it. They've got to the point, let's see if I click right, will it do it? No, it won't. Maybe I have to scroll down a little more so I can see it. But they've got to the point where they're able to... I've
never seen this.
They're basically able... This is a patent, so it's not like they didn't have some kind of ideology on it, right? So, but the thing is about Hollywood is they've all taken these little courses.
Oh, this is a for real patent.
This is a legit.
I'm looking at the freaking it's on the website.
This is Google Patents.
This is legit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they have the
what?
They have the questionnaire. They have the instrument, they have the algorithm computer, and they can program. If you look on the bottom right, I know you guys can barely see it on the screen because I'm just learning how to use this software. Whatever, but if you look at the bottom right, output. They know how to get an output from you.
Where do we tell them to go? Just Google what?
Google this patent number. Hang on. Look at this. If you want to screenshot this, guys, you can. But look at you can do this patent number right here. US 20130281879A1. You can look up what this is a Google patent. This is a United States.
I was like, what? I did that, dude. I
right. So these people are doing weird shit when you're not paying attention. And if you think, look, you guys know the government knows about stuff and hides it from you. Mm-hmm. Like Stanley Meyer, the dude that made the car that can get from LA to New York on 4 gallons of water by basically compounding H2O and making it H3O with a machine that he had in the car. Mm-hmm. It's because it's an explosive chemical or an explosive
turns
H3O.
into hydrogen.
Right. You're able to use it as a mechanism. He got from New York to LA with 4 gallons of water. Mm-hmm. And people are saying, but because that's a nuclear protected chemical inside of hydrogen bombs, you're not allowed to have it. So guys, they have solved the gas crisis years ago. But they don't care to solve it for you. So the government has so much stuff that's classified. If you don't think that they know how to control you if they want to, you're naive. Period.
Look, no, I 100% agree. And now social media is on board. Like, I mean, what's that movie? The Social Experiment, whatever it was on Netflix or something like that. They show how they tailor to certain people and how they, they start putting this and taking away that. That affects social media is kind of a world now. And so what happens when you take away all the conservative voices and only have the left? What has happened? What have we seen happen for real in real time with our children and the young people coming up now? They seem to be leaning very left.
It's true.
It's because there's nothing's even to see what would go. They're manipulating it, and that's the social media companies manipulate the children's feeds.
Yeah, and what you can see. So you always think that like, oh, it must be popular. Everybody must want the transgender person on the Kellogg's box since that's what they're doing and that's what they're talking about. And it's like, actually, no, not everybody does want that, but you wouldn't know it because online, which they're talking about Twitter being like potentially 50% bots, which means fake people pretending that they're engaged.
And they interact. These are bots that interact.
Bots that interact with you.
I never knew that until this year.
And so imagine if you're just living your life, doing your thing, and you walk into the gas station, Tina, and the person at the register or just a random person that happens to be in the store looks human, everything seems normal, and they just go, man, did you hear the good news? What? Yeah, Biden sent $40 billion to Ukraine to help. You'd be like, okay, cool. Let me get my soda or whatever. And then 3 years later, you go, what happened? And then you check to see that guy that you see every day at the 7-Eleven is not even a real guy. He's a bot. And so you are being programmed by these voices that you think are real people who you think you see them having a Biden sticker or whatever. And you're like, damn, maybe Biden is popular. Maybe I should consider it more. And they're Truman showing you. They're Truman showing you. Everything in your environment's controlled and you think the swaths of people are going this way. And then what happens when we do a poll, when Elon Musk goes, is free speech important? And all the people that are pretty centrist, Elon Musk is one of the most green dudes in the world. He doesn't even have possessions, guguys. He got rid of all of his possessions. So
he's a Democrat.
Yeah, he's not. He's never even voted Republican. He said he's going to this time. But so you've got him put a poll out, and the poll basically says, because I don't think bots can do the poll. Maybe that's the problem. They can't do the poll. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he gets massive support that freedom of speech needs to be protected. So he decides to jump into all this and buy Twitter. At the end of the day, this is insane. It's crazy. We're going through nonstop dunking us into more and more extreme things. And the biggest threat, guys, is the World Economic Forum. That is the biggest threat in everybody that cooperates with their global agenda. It's not being covered enough, but you need to be aware of it. And you need to be prepared to be loud and resist everything that they want to push because it's anti-American. And anything that's anti-American means that it's pro-globalism, which means pro-dictatorship in the long run. You just got to wait 12 years.
One person. Did you see in the wording, too, with this amendment to have the United States be under the power of whatever the WHO or the WEF, whoever would make the pandemic choices, it said if the leader perceives this to be a pandemic or whatever health crisis, merely the perception of one person.
The perception of the risk. And that's the thing. Mm-hmm. All of it's malleable. You know, and if you think they've done a good job so far, you know, with your mental health and with your kids and with your future and with whatever's going on, I'm just going to leave you guys with this last thing before I do my last ad. It's going to be a funny ad. But I want you guys to see this. Let's see. What is that one called? Is that
Twitter?
Libs?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, get ready, guys. This is at a school.
A high school.
Yeah,
under 18.
Monkey POX. That's the actual high school. They brought in drag queens to perform for students during school. That's right. They brought a stripper. If you believe in the crap that they say, which means men can be women, well, this is certainly a woman stripper then. If you're going to believe what they believe, they brought a woman stripper into a school for diversity and inclusion. So here we go. Headstand stripper, full blown, did it all, guys.
Well, like that, and that's suggestive poses. That's stripping moves. Those are stripping moves.
Like, this is sexual. They are not trying to get your kids to be tolerant. They're trying for them to give up all of their values and do whatever is necessary to get everybody to be willing to turn the page on all of American history and go, you guys didn't have it right. No matter the fact that you're the richest country, the most successful country, the leading in almost every category when they try, and they're not being manipulated by the politicians to ruin the country, right? And everybody wants to come here. We bring in almost double the amount to the next closest country, which I think was Germany or something like that, as far as migrants, right? So everybody wants to come here, and you're trying to change the thing that everybody wanted to come to. So there's at least got to be some kind of an idea in your mind that you're saying the old was good, and you have your idea on what you think would be better, but nobody ever accomplished it in any other country first. You're just going to destroy this one first in hopes that what you're going to build is better. We don't believe you. We think it's going to be shittier, and we also think that you have nefarious reasons for wanting to do what you're doing. The World Economic Forum can suck a giant Johnson as far as daddy's concerned.
I agree. 100%. 100%.
Anyway, God bless everybody. You guys have a good night, and thanks for chiming in.